Ava Devine, and welcome to 12 News Weekend. Every week, we take a look back at the best news stories from our reporters. On today's show, from a sizzling flat top to a dive bar classic where you can find the best burger in Arizona. And then later, a frenzy in Scottsdale as fans celebrated a pop star's new album in style. But first, a Valley man beats the odds after a rare triple organ transplant and finds an unexpected bond with the only other person who knows exactly what he's been through. Here's his story.
Today, Tony Miranda is smiling. But a few years ago, shortly after his 60th birthday, his life was hanging on by a thread. Tony's heart, liver, and kidney were all failing, the aftermath of a severe flu virus years earlier.
So what happened, that's where everything started. First it hit my kidneys, and then it hit my heart. But then 2 years ago, I had my cardiologist told me that I needed a heart transplant.
The diagnosis was devastating, but for Tony's wife, Carrie, it was also a sign of hope.
I mean, to me, it was shocking, but kind of a lifeline too.
Mm-hmm.
And then we spent 2 years working to get.
Yeah, 2 years just trying to get to transplant.
After being turned away by other hospitals unable to perform the complicated surgery, the couple turned to the Mayo Clinic in Scottsdale, one of just a few hospitals in the country to ever transplant a heart, liver, and kidney in one patient at the same time.
But even then, when they've said yes, you are a candidate, which they did, doesn't mean it's a winning lottery ticket. But for Tony it was.
But you were like at the 11th hour at that point.
Right, yeah, I was already there.
And by the time we got to Mayo, he was requiring 2 of those medications for his heart to keep up. And then eventually that wasn't enough either.
And then the miracle call came, one donor matching all 3 organs.
They told me that they were going to do it.
Then another call, this time from a stranger in Oklahoma.
Hopefully everything goes smooth for you. Praying to God right now for you.
Doyle Duke. In 2022, Doyle was Arizona's first ever triple transplant recipient.
As far as the pain, it's going to be probably the worst thing you've ever been through.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
I just told him, hey man, this is going to be the hardest thing that you're ever going to do. You're going to fight for your life. It's not easy. You're going to have hard times, you're going to have good times, mostly hard.
Tony spent 141 days in the hospital recovering.
And you know, every time that I would say that I couldn't do it, I would just hear what he told me.
I had to find every bit of strength I had in my body.
And so he was big on getting me through this.
That phone call creating a bond between the men that few will ever understand.
You know, you can't relate, they don't understand what you went through, what you go through every day, but he does.
Hey, come in.
In January, the men and their wives met in person for the very first time.
Yeah, we went to dinner and we could have talked for hours.
We talked 3 hours.
3 hours.
No one else. Just the two of you have that shared experience.
Yeah, so we're soul brothers now.
We're so brothers.
Is that brother from another mother? Is that what it is?
But you know, one thing, Caribe, is that without these 2 women, we wouldn't be here.
No, most definitely.
I mean, they're amazing.
Most definitely.
Tony continues to get stronger with weekly cardiac rehab. He's driving again and getting out to watch his grandkids play sports.
How grateful do you feel to be able to be doing these things?
Oh, I'm very grateful. Every day I can hear my heartbeat, and it's you know, for the longest time I couldn't hear it, and so I mean every day is another day for me that, you know, happy to be here.
Both Tony and Doyle have become vocal advocates for organ donation.
But, you know, we wouldn't be here, you know, without our organs. But somebody, you know, passed away for that, and that's the
hardest thing to.
It's such an honor to carry their organs. You know, day in and day out. There's not one day that goes by that I don't think about what somebody had to go through to give me life.
Mm-hmm.
That is a deep, deep thing, man. That just, and you can't forget.
While this triple transplant duo are beating the odds together with a second chance at life, they have one more dream that they'd like to share.
So I'm a big Diamondbacks fan.
Tony, why do you like the Diamondbacks so much, and what do you want to do?
Well, I like the Diamondbacks because they've been our home team, you know, since the beginning. So I would like to throw out the first pitch with Doyle.
We gotta make this happen. Like, we gotta make this happen. And still ahead, a motorcycle crash left one Arizona father fighting for his life, but a stranger with medical training stepped in. We have a look at their emotional reunion.
The Valley. It's not just rapidly growing, it's not just 300 days of sunshine, it's much more than that. This is our community, where we're immersed in its diversity and culture. This is where we grow, where we evolve, where we're writing the Arizona story. This is our home. And 12 News is the home of breaking news, the home of weather impact alerts, the home of investigations, the home of original streaming content on 12+, the home of journalism.
And once again, we're the home of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
And we are so excited to be back on 12 News for another season.
Catch a select number of games right on 12 News,
including opening day live from Los Angeles.
And catch the home opener at Chase Field against Detroit. Baseball's just around the corner.
And it feels great to be right at home.
12 News is your home for Arizona's home team. The Diamondbacks are back on 12 News.
Arizona needs club kids, and club kids need you. At Boys and Girls Clubs of the Valley, with support from State Farm, Valley Toyota dealers, and Semper Fi Heating and Cooling, we're helping shape brighter futures for Arizona's youth through education, mentorship, and opportunity.
Completely shattered the pelvis. My left wrist has been rebuilt, and then my lower spine, my L1, has 2 screws going through my sciatic nerve.
Austin Brkacek remembers little about the moments after a driver turned in front of his motorcycle. He was going nearly 50 miles an hour near Superstition Boulevard and Delaware Drive last October and had no time to react. The crash left him lying in the street with life-threatening injuries.
Honestly, I'm really thankful he doesn't remember it, because I wouldn't want to remember that.
Dakota Henninger, a military veteran, pulled over and ran to help. He had a medical kit in his truck and training that kicked in immediately.
All of a sudden, I started seeing a lot of blood start coming out from between his legs. At that point, seeing how bad it was bleeding, I was like, oh, that's arterial. Like, we need to stop that.
He packed the wound and talked to Austin, trying to keep him calm.
It had compound fractured his pelvis, and the bone had ripped through the joint.
Austin would spend months in and out of the hospital. Today, he's walking again and even back on his motorcycle, but still on a long road to recovery.
Not full mobility, but we're getting there.
Thanks to Henninger, his 3 sons still have their dad.
My kids are very grateful.
Today at Apache Junction Police Headquarters, Chief Michael Pooley recognized Henninger with a Citizen Life-Saving Award.
On behalf of the men and women of this department and the community, you were an angel for Austin, and I see a miracle walking.
These 2 fathers now share a unique bond and a story they'll be telling for years.
And to see someone who went through something so terrible and then now they're good, and it's because you helped, I mean, that feeling's pretty indescribable.
In Apache Junction, Kyle Simchuk, 12 News.
The 303 is a great freeway. It takes you around Phoenix if you want to. It takes you right to the West Valley. Lets you bypass a lot of things. There's just one problem. It's really hard to get onto.
Pretty soon, this whole area will be home to tens of thousands of people. People driving to TSMC, people living along I-17, and now the 303.
We sometimes joke the dumbest stoplight in Phoenix is between the 2 freeways right here.
All right, here's the problem. This is the 303 at I-17, and yeah, that's a stoplight right there, getting on the freeway. Not exactly the fastest way to get on.
Fixing that dumbest stoplight, as Mayor Kate Gallego said, starts now. Mayors, council members, Governor Katie Hobbs, all of them were out in the desert by the 303 to kick off that project.
TSMC is right behind us, and this transportation corridor is incredibly important to continuing to build the economic future of our state.
This area in 2014 had about 10,000 cars coming through. Now it's 30,000, and that is going to continue to grow.
All right, you might be thinking, what's so great about a road construction project? Well, it's bigger than just this 303 project. This is Prop 479. It basically lays out a framework for the next 20 years of construction projects. Prop 79 extended a sales tax in Maricopa County that's supposed to be spent on road projects, improving arterials, improvements on I-10 and I-17, but also building new highways. SR 30, the Tres Rios Freeway that goes from the Durango Curve eventually all the way to State Route 85 in Buckeye, and then State Route 24. That's a smaller stretch of highway that connects Santan 202 with Ironwood. It's billions of dollars in projects that all start with these new ramps. William Pitts, 12 News.
Dirt turned into Opportunity Wednesday.
So the district has actually owned this land for almost 20 years now.
As Tolleson Union High School district leaders and partners broke ground on a new campus.
If innovation is happening in our backyard, our students should be a part of it.
We're projected for rapid growth around the district, and so as all these new homes are developed, it's going to be necessary that we have the additional space to be able to accommodate those students.
Estrella Vista Academy,
on behalf of the board, thank you again for joining us this morning.
Will be the district's 8th school, one that leaders say will be unique.
They can expect to see something very different. We have a very different design with this high school, which is why we named it our academy. The layout of the buildings, the programs that we're bringing into this campus is very different than what we have, and a very different feel than what we have on our other campuses.
Film, podcasts, culinary, sports medicine, and possibly aviation are just a few academic opportunities students can focus on. But a new partnership with Phoenix Raceway,
for us, it just means something special.
Adds additional opportunities, learning about electric vehicles, automotive technology, engineering, and more.
This area has been in a growth mode for a very long time, so it talks about the growth there, but it also just talks about the innovation. This is something different. There's not, I don't know of any other school in Arizona that is like this, specific to motorsports, the auto industry, really focused on the data analytics and all of those types of things. I'm unaware, and I'm certainly unaware of that in the West Valley.
With construction officially underway, leaders say they're excited for what's ahead and are ready to kick it into high gear for opening day.
When everyone is hearing about a lot of school closures that are out there across the state right now, our district is growing, our district is thriving. We're breaking ground on our next success.
Jay Cunningham, 12 News.
The Olympic flame has long symbolized resilience, triumph, and the human spirit. Today, a similar symbolic flame made its way through St. Joseph's Hospital and Medical Center in Phoenix.
This idea started really small. I had an idea just to do it within our unit, and then some of my higher-ups found out, and the hospital kind of turned it into a whole thing.
Caitlin Verfurth knows a thing or two about perseverance. She was just 7 years old when a car accident left her paralyzed from the waist down. Rather than let her injury define her, Verfurth turned to adaptive sports, which eventually led her to the Paralympics, not once, but 4 times.
I played wheelchair tennis for 3 Paralympic Games. I went to Athens in 2004, Beijing in 2008, and then Rio in 2016.
She also competed in sprint canoe and kayak during the 2021 Games in Tokyo. Today, she works as a recreational therapist at Barrow Neurological Institute, helping patients with spinal cord injuries, strokes, and other neurological issues find their new normal.
Really love being able to introduce patients to what's possible, because I've been there also and I know where they're coming from.
But Verfurth wants patients to know where they can go. Today's relay brought back familiar faces, including Joe Jackson, who came to Barrow in 2005 at the age of 16.
I was playing football and I broke my neck in practice while we were getting ready for semifinal state playoff game.
Jackson is a Paralympian himself. He won silver at the Tokyo Games in wheelchair rugby.
It was hard because it was during COVID, so we didn't get to have family, but it's still cool to represent your country on the biggest stage.
We all go through something that might be really hard and challenging, and you think your life's over, and then you turn a corner and there's all these new opportunities.
Verfurth says she hopes today's event opens the door for her patients to explore adaptive sports and see themselves in the athletes competing on the world stage this week.
Who knows, we might have some Paralympians that are here with us today.
In Phoenix, Kyle Simchuk, 12 News.
Fans lined the streets of Scottsdale for hours Friday afternoon.
Like 2.5 hours.
3 hours. Waiting to get their turn at the Kiss All the Time Disco Occasionally pop-up. The name coming directly from Harry Styles' newest album title, which was released just this morning. The pop-ups were announced through the Harry Styles headquarters social media pages earlier this week. And when locals saw Phoenix on the lineup, they had quite the reaction.
I was shocked that Phoenix was one of the cities that was an option.
I literally live 5 minutes on the road, so it's special. It feels like he brought it home for me.
For the venue Mini Social, this is the largest event they've hosted. Telling 12 News they expect thousands of fans to make it out over the course of the weekend.
And to have the opportunity to host something like this, like right down in the shops of Old Town, it's really, really exciting for us. Great for business, for everyone down here, not just for us. But with Harry's new album coming out, it's really exciting to be able to celebrate that with everyone.
Now, this is much more than just a shop to buy merchandise for these fans. It's become an interactive experience as well. They can take photos right there and have them be highlighted at different pop-up shops all across the globe. Fans are coming into the Valley from all different parts of the state, hoping to purchase their favorite sweater, vinyl album, t-shirt, and more at one of the 8 pop-up shops across the country.
Probably a t-shirt. I'm going to see him in New York in October. T-shirt to wear to the concert.
And it's not just fans enjoying themselves. Businesses in the area are in on the fun, too.
I think it's super silly, and it takes a lot of dedication. We've had people here since I think about like 10 a.m. And that's the time we came in. So I was like, dang, girl, like that's kind of a lot. Like the only time me and my sister ever line up like that is like maybe for concerts. I've never seen people do it for merch and stuff like that. But I think it's really awesome. I hope the people get what they want and they don't sell out.
The pop-up is set to be open Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. In Scottsdale, Tiani Jadaling, 12 News.
We have long, short.
With hundreds of dresses, suits, and weeks of preparation.
Whatever they walk out with, it's theirs.
The Peoria North Rotary Club is getting ready to make prom magical for students all over the Valley.
And when they walk out of that dressing room, you notice a change, you notice a difference. They're standing a little bit taller, and for many, many times, you will hear a gasp from the mom or dad, because it's the first time they've seen their child looking like this, and they're just so proud, and you'll see tears start to flow. A lot of them brand new, they still have the tag on them.
It's called the Prom Closet.
All of the items we have are donated.
A place where high schoolers can go to pick out an outfit, shoes, and other accessories free of charge.
Yeah, we're giving them a suit, we're giving them a dress. Again, I think it's more, we're giving them dignity. For the, maybe one of the first times in their life they feel really, really proud about who they are. And that's very, very important. Try on as many dresses as they want.
Rotary Club member Brett McKeon says the event has drawn a growing number of students over the past 16 years.
We had almost 700 kids last year over the 2 weekends, and they came from over 70 high schools throughout Arizona.
This year, more are expected.
Prom is very expensive today. It was expensive when my daughter was a senior in high school. And for girls especially, a lot of times they'll buy the dress, and they're expensive no matter what, and they'll only wear it one time.
From the hair to the dinner and tickets, prom can be costly. But thanks to the Prom Closet,
we think every act of service is an act of peace.
It helps ease some of the financial stress while still making sure every student has the chance to feel special on prom night. Jay Cunningham, 12 News.
For author Roger Naylor, the perfect Arizona day starts on the trail and ends with a burger.
You work up a sweat and you work up an appetite, and then on the way home, you stop and pull into a little diner, a little cafe, and have a great burger. And I think there's just no better Arizona day than that.
That idea is the backbone of his new book, Arizona Boots and Burgers, a guide for hungry hikers.
Features 70 trails, 70 burgers. And they're not all burgers. They're all, include some Mexican restaurants, some barbecue joints, pizza, a little mix of, and vegetarian options at each location. I'm married to a vegetarian.
One of those stops brought us here to Big Earl's Greasy Eats, a retro favorite in Cave Creek.
I'm always seeking an honest hamburger, an authentic hamburger. I want a burger that takes me back to my youth, but keeps my taste buds rooted right in the present.
Big Earl's is a former gas station from the 1930s, converted into a restaurant, but still full of character, from its vintage sign to its drive-in movies and candy shop.
I always remember my first burger. I'm sitting out there under that sign. There was kind of a perfect warm winter day there.
The nearby hike he pairs it with is the Go John Trail at Cave Creek Regional Park.
You want to earn that burger.
After miles of trails and mountains of burgers, Naylor says the crown belongs to
Harvey's Wine Burger, my favorite. Black Angus chuck that they use, and then they put it on the flat top, hand pressed, a big slosh of red wine, and it's just this big fountain of steam, and they cover it right away. So all those juices are just percolating in there, and it is the most succulent, supple burger you've ever had. It's just like, I break off pieces and eat them. It's like beef candy. It's just so delicious. In this little dive bar.
Joe's Farm Grill in Gilbert and the Chuck Box in Tempe are Naylor's other top contenders. From Tucson to the Arizona Strip, his rule is simple. If it's in the book, it's worth the stop.
A hamburger is the king of comfort foods because it's a flashback on a bun.
Arizona Boots and Burgers is available in stores and online. Naylor hopes it inspires more people to explore Arizona and mom and pop restaurants.
We need to treat ourselves well, and this is a nice way to do it. A little hooky day out on the trail, a little hike, a little eat, and enjoy it.
Kyle Simchuk, 12 News.
And thanks everyone for watching. And just a reminder, new episodes of 12 News Weekend premiere every Friday on 12+. You can also watch past episodes on the app. Just don't forget to download 12+ on your TV devices and you can watch for free. I'm Kariba Devine. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend.
I'm Ginger Jeffries, morning meteorologist on 12 News, and always up for a hike, especially Piestewa Peak. I love preparing a user-friendly forecast to get you ready for the day. Whether it's tracking temperature swings from the high country into the valley or keeping you ahead of strong winds during monsoon, we've got you covered. Make the move to Arizona's top streaming newscast. Weekdays starting at 4:26 anywhere you watch.